Well, hello there. This is Craig Hain. My students call me Dr. Dell, and this is a meeting about the topic of invest in yourself. It's a short book that I've written, and I want to share it with you, and I want to talk to you about it. Now, you can read this book. It's called Invest Yourself in a PDF that's attached with this, along with this video, or you can listen to my video where I'm going to talk to you about it. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to bring up the actual book, and here it is, Invest in Yourself. Now, I'm Craig Hain, and I will tell you all about myself near the end of this video, and in fact, you can read all about me later on. My students call me Dr. Dell, but I have a question for you. What kind of a life do you believe that an adult could have if the adult could earn $25 per hour or more and live in some modest cost of living area in the United States in 2020 or 2021? What's your answer to that question? What do you think? What kind of a life? Now, I will tell you that my belief is that if the adult is single, then that the adult could work part-time, about 20 hours a week, which means you'd earn about $500 a week if you were making $25 an hour or more, and you could live a pretty good life from a financial perspective. What do you think about that? Now, if you agree with that, then I think you should listen to what I'm going to tell you about how you can do that. In fact, two adults that have both achieved this could live together, and they'd have about $4,000 a month then to spend, and that's a really good life in most parts of the country and most modest priced areas. Another thing you could do is you could live with some older person perhaps as a tenant, maybe rent-free if you helped them with their life. And again, you could live on pretty good about $2,000 a month. Now, this is what I believe is a situation. Now, if you were working 20 hours a week, that leaves you 148 hours in the week to do other things. Okay, basic math. And I think that there's lots of things you could do. Now, obviously, you could just play around and have a good time, or you could, what I call, invest in yourself and then improve your life and make it even better as time goes on. So let's just suppose that you're earning $500 a week for 20 hours of part-time work. Think of all the other things you could be doing. Well, you could use a library, an online library. There's all sorts of online resources. You can learn things from other students, so you can begin to learn things and do things that are productive. There's a lot of teachers out there and a lot of other students that would like to help you learn, and you don't even have to be enrolled in their class. If it turns out that the adult that we're talking about is what I would call a breadwinner in a family, then of course it's going to take about 40 hours a week, which is about $1,000 a week, in other words, at $25 an hour, to provide a comfortable life for your family. If that's the case, the other parent could be free to raise the children. Now, by adult, I mean any sapien that is no longer a child. So you could be 13, 14, 18, 20s, whatever, but you're an adult. Now, in order to achieve the $25 an income legally, then of course, how can you do that? And I'm going to talk about how you can do it legally. And to do that, what you need to do, obviously, is learn some skill that other people are going to pay $25 an hour for you to perform this skill. That's fairly obvious, right? So my advice then is to, if you are a student or a young adult, is if you haven't done so, plan to learn such a skill as soon as possible. Now the question is, how are you going to do that? And my answer to that is, well, you're going to invest in yourself. That's what I mean by invest in yourself. The first thing you need to do is try to figure out what kind of a skill you think that you would like to do, that you would enjoy learning and enjoy practicing. You might as well learn to do something you enjoy, because you're more likely to be good at it, and people are going to want to employ you to do it. It could be any kind of a service or an activity that other people will pay for. And there's just thousands of such things you could think of. There's all sorts of things you could think of. What I recommend you do, if you don't have some ideas in mind, is brainstorm, talk to other people. What are the skills that other people do that people value and that look like they might be fun? And this is part of the learning process, part of growing up when you're a very young adult. Okay, find a skill that you think you might like, and when you've done that, go find somebody that has this skill. Now, you might have to move somewhere to do it, but find someone that's got the skill and go to that person and say, you know, I really like what you're doing. I think it's great. I'd love to learn it. I'd like to be your assistant and learn from you. I'd like you to help me learn it. And as a matter of fact, I'm prepared to take however long it takes, probably a few years to learn it. And you can offer to work for free if necessary in the beginning. I mean, people may not want to hire you when you're starting, but if you work for free, they'll hire you to get started. And then as you begin to develop skills and they see that you're a good worker and so on, they'll start paying you. And the longer you work for them, the more skilled you become, the more valuable you're going to be, the more they're going to pay you. You might find a company to do it. Some companies have apprentice programs, but more than likely it's going to be some small company as opposed to a large company. It might even be an independent worker. Now, as you know today, we live in a gig economy, and lots of people now are out doing all sorts of things to earn a living, and that might be the kind of person you go to work for. But here's what you got to realize, and I'm sure you do. In order for this to work, you're going to have to learn to learn. Now, you may know this already, but this is something we all have to do in our life. You have to learn to learn. And that means you've got to have discipline, and you've got to have kind of a long-term view of your life. You got to realize that what you're doing today is building for tomorrow, and you're investing in yourself. And also, as you're going to obviously learn, the harder you work, the faster you're going to master the skill. Now, some skills can be learned in a year or two of dedicated effort. In fact, many skills can be learned in a year or two. That doesn't mean that you're perfecting them, but you learn to where you're pretty good at them, and people will start wanting to use you. Some skills may take longer, 3 or 4 years. Depends on the skill, obviously. But suppose that you've chosen and you've decided that it's some technical skill that you want to do. Electronics, mechanical power systems, landscaping, all sorts of things that involve some technical skills. Well, then now you're going to kind of have a challenge to get someone to hire you to start off with. You're going to have to offer them something. And the chances are you're going to need to know something that I call workforce math. And you're going to have to understand things about this in order then to learn the technical skill. Now, there's a website called workforcemath.com where you can see what this is all about. And I'm going to show you that now, just so you'll know where to go look at it. And this is a website, workforcemath.com. Now, this website is aimed at large companies that are training their people to really become expert in some technical subject. It's how they start. There's basic, intermediate, and advanced. There's a syllabus for how it works, and you can learn all about what it is. Download the syllabus and see what you need to learn. And I'll tell you right now, it's probably not what you've been learning in high school in the math that you've already taken. So you want to do that, and so just you go to this website and study it, and of course it's fairly expensive to do, but I'm going to show you a way to do it much less expensively. But the first thing you're going to need to do, probably, if it's a technical subject, is learn workforce math. Now, unfortunately, most schools don't teach it. If you're lucky enough and your school that you go to teaches workforce math, that's wonderful. Take it and learn it. That'd be wonderful. When you learn it, you're going to learn that it's going to involve not only learning math, but how to learn to learn. You're going to learn cognitive skills. You're going to be gaining workforce maturity. But your problem may be, say, well, who's going to teach me workforce math? My school doesn't do it. Well, then you're going to have to do what they call homeschool yourself. Now, homeschool is something anybody can do. That just means you study at your home. And with this day and age of the internet, that's pretty easy to do. You might need someone to help you along, to coach you, maybe an older person, a parent or somebody, if you're really quite young. Most young people can use a coach. But you can get an online program where I will be the teacher, as a matter of fact. And thanks to some modern technologies, you're going to be able to learn workforce math in just a few months for a pretty low cost. Mostly it's going to be your effort, and you're going to find out how to do it. And I'm going to show you how. As a matter of fact, here's where you should start. The first thing you should do, if you want to learn workforce math, to see if you even like it or even think you can do it, and this is particularly true if you struggle with math in the past and you don't like math. A lot of people are afraid of math, and you shouldn't be. Master how to use a scientific calculator. The one that I recommend is the TI-30XA. This is the scientific calculator right here, the TI-30XA scientific calculator. And you can probably learn this now today with an online course for about $25 and about 25 hours of your time. Believe it or not, you can get really, really good at it. Now let me show you that. again, let me go here and show you where you would go. You would go here to this. This is Vastly Superior Math, MS, Success for 21st Century Math Students. This is, in fact, now the program that I'm recommending to you that you're going to be able to get. You can buy this book. Now, you'll be able to buy this book from Amazon for $14.99. So, for example, if you go to Amazon and type in this book, there it is, $14.99. But let me tell you this, what comes with this book is quite unique. It's not just a book, it's a whole-blown program, because in this book there are 25 lessons to learn how to master this calculator. And then you'll know more about it than almost anybody that's ever used it does, unless they've taken a course like this. But for each lesson, you're going to get a tutorial video on the internet, delivered online. It comes from Amazon Web Services. It's a video that I've created, a tutorial video, because it's very hard to learn just reading a book. Very hard to learn math from reading a book. You've got to have someone explain it to you. And I call it a tutorial video. Each lesson I explain in detail how to do it. Then you have exercises to do and quizzes to be sure you know how to do it. It's delivered from a learning management system, all on the internet. The whole thing is $15. It's quite remarkable what technology allows today. In fact, this was not available a year ago. We couldn't even do this a year ago. This book, for example, that Amazon actually prints the book that you're going to get for $14.99. Amazon delivers the tutorial videos in MP4 format, so you can take it on any kind of computer that you've got. All this is available. Now, quite frankly, a course like this, who knows what it would have cost if you went to a school to do it? Hundreds of dollars probably, and you're going to get it for $15. And of course, you got to buy the calculator, which is less than $10. This TI-30XA, so that's where the $25 comes from. So that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to learn this thing. Now, this is really quite a remarkable thing today that you can do. You're going to learn this mastering the TI-30XA calculator. Now, while you're learning it, we're also going to be giving you a lot of other information, a lot of other videos, a lot of educational emails, and we're going to show you then how, once you've mastered the calculator, you can then go and learn the Workforcemath very, very cost effectively, very inexpensively, and very efficiently. And as a matter of fact, then, once you've done that, there will be all sorts of people that would absolutely love to have you as an apprentice to come to work and help them and then have them teach you what they're doing. And in the meantime, they're getting a really good deal for you working for them. And I might also say, some of you might be interested in a military career. A lot of young students today say, well, I'm going to go to the military, which is not a bad idea, for it depends on your situation. Well, this is a fantastic preparation for your military. If you know Workforcemath before you go to the military, I will tell you, there'll be all sorts of things you can learn in the military. They'll love you. You'll be so far ahead of so many people that go that you'll do really, really well. So that is good for that too. Now, that's what I really wanted to tell you in the first part of this video. This is really the essence of about invest in yourself. Learn to do something that was worth $25 an hour. You can work part-time, and then you can learn more things and so on. I hope that you, as a matter of fact, now will go on and follow my advice. You're going to go and you're going to get this book. Now, you can get it from Amazon for $14.99, but I will tell you this. You may be a member of a club, and clubs are able to get it wholesale and then resell it to you, and then they make some money on it. So if you're part of a club, buy it from the club. You still get access to all the videos. You're buying the entire program. Once you've gone through it, I will be teaching you. While you're going through that, which will only take you maybe 20, 25 hours, I'll be teaching you then how to get this training, which is the Workforcemath training. And I'll be teaching you how to get that very cost effectively and so forth. And then you're ready to go. And by the way, that's the foundation if you want to go into STEM. If you do want to go into STEM, I'm going to also then show you how to go up higher levels. We have tiers, we call them, and you're going to go through pre-calculus, calculus, differential equation. You're going to do all that while you're still in high school if you start soon enough. If you start studying this when you're 12 or 13 years old, you're going to be in really great shape by the time you are ready for college, if you decide to go to college. So this is Dr. Dale. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to, and if you did and you take one of my courses, I'll see you on other videos, and we'll be communicating through the forum or via emails or whatever, and I hope you have a great life. So remember, invest in yourself.